Ryan Willard, and I'm an architect for the second-hand studio, and you probably can't hear anything that I'm saying. I'm here at Brands Hatch watching the NASCAR race. Really quite phenomenal. The sound of these engines is like nothing else. 24 cars, it's phenomenal. Hello, Ryan Willard here. I am now reporting to you from, not Brands Hatch, unfortunately. I am in my offices at the Thinking Hand studio, and unfortunately it was a little bit too noisy at Brands Hatch for me to be able to record a video, and also I lost the film that I did, so I'm going to recreate what I was actually talking about here inside this wonderful conference room. Unfortunately, there are no beautiful images of Americana cars or anything like that, but we do have some beautiful renderings of calculators and pens, which are fantastic. So, as I was saying, I was at Brands Hatch a few days ago looking at the kind of incredible array of Americana cars that were there. They had the NASCAR racing, they had a form of Indy cars, it wasn't quite Indy cars, and just a vast array of American automobiles, from Mustangs to Chevys to Dodge Chargers to Jeeps to Hummers, all sorts of stuff. And if you're a bit of a motorhead, and I do like cars now and again, it was a lot of fun, and the sound of the engines and the roar was just, it was fantastic. Some really beautiful classic cars there, very passionate group of people who really spend a lot of time restoring these vehicles to something quite amazing. And what I wanted to talk about in terms of architecture, you might think, well, what on earth have these cars got to do with cities or architecture? And for me, the relationship between cars and urban environment is very interesting, particularly in America. Now, America has a kind of lots of its cities are orientated around the automobile. Most notably is LA. LA is just highways. It's just like this kind of mess, a sprawling mess of a city where if you do not have a car, you cannot get around. It is kind of insane. And it kind of, a lot of American cities are very, very vast. They spread out. You need a car to go across them. They're on a grid system. The roads are really wide, very different from a European city, which would have been developed much more around pedestrian forms of transport, horse and cart. It's got kind of medieval histories to it. Streets are winding, they're narrow, they're not made for cars. And American cities, this kind of urban planning really gave rise to the automobile industry in the US. So there's this kind of interesting relationship between the great industrialists like Henry Ford producing the American car economy, which was then kind of fueled by the urban planning of the cities. That meant that it was essential for you to have a car. You couldn't do anything but have a car. So by creating that need, you create the industry, and there's this kind of reciprocal effect. And the cars end up becoming very evocative of America. You look at the Ford Thunderbird, for example, my favorite car of the day, or some of the Mustangs and the Shelbys. Those have become iconic cars. They're very classy, they're understated in lots of ways, but they capture something about an era and a time. You see them in the backdrops of movies. They've become this kind of piece almost in cities. They kind of describe America. And when you see them out of context, so coming off the English roads in Kent, going to Brands Hatch and seeing American cars, you see the scale of them. They're massive. They're much bigger than European cars generally. They're long, they're wide, they're kind of, in their design, they're kind of reflecting some of that urban planning of the city. So again, you have that kind of reciprocal relationship between the design of the car and the city itself. There's also some very interesting, it got me thinking a lot about the design of highways and how highways are composed and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I'm not going to go on any more about it, but I enjoyed it. It was fantastic. Go and enjoy some more of these images of American cars, and next time you're out in the US, just have a look at the cars and see how the cars relate to the city and how the cars actually become a defining architectural piece in giving you that sensation of America.